So I collect comic books, and so, like, and I have a goal of only having 1,000 comic books in my collection at any given time. I'm nowhere near that. I'm getting, I don't know. I have to check. I have to count. But I also sell my comic books now. If you want to come to my house and buy my comic books, you're welcome to come by. You have to find me, and I'll make a video of the museum, as I'm calling it now. Because I had my house decorated, and it's beautiful. Anyways, so long story short, my collection is made up of a variety of things that I think that interest me and that I think will have potential down the road. The first big one is crime comics, or as I like to call them, true crime comics, because honestly, a lot of superhero comics are crime comics. The crime fighter, Batman's a crime fighter, They fought crime, but it wasn't the same as crime books, which, as a genre, are more focused on the criminals. It's a relatively cheap genre of Golden Age to get into. If you want to get the gold standard, always just buy Crime Doesn't Pay. That was the one that started the genre, and there are a multitude of crime titles out there, some pornographic even. So what makes crime books so fascinating is they were what led to the code. They were the principal blame. Every book has a murder in it, and it's very noir. When noir becomes fashionable again, crime books will take off in value because they have that noir market to them. So that's one market that I think, and it's cheap, so I just buy them all up right now. The next thing I'm collecting is Captain Marvel. So I know that sounds weird to say I'm collecting Captain Marvel. I'm collecting Fawcett books and also Shazam stuff. Not heavy on the Shazam DC stuff. I have a few light issues from that era. I just picked up a Shazam, and I'm bidding on a Shazam 28. More Fawcett. I have a large Fawcett incomplete collection. They're coverless and missing wraps. I also have about 3 or 4 Captain Marvel issues, and it's growing. As I find them, I buy them. Another genre that I'm moving into because it's hot right now, so it's expensive, but I'm really fascinated to read these stories because they're really popular right now, and I'm really fascinated, is the horror genre. Again, it's like crime. It proliferated the gold standard of the EC horror books. Tales from the Crypt, Tales of Suspense. Tales of Suspension, I believe it is. I don't know. I don't know my EC that well, so I have a few EC books in my collection because I wanted to have some EC books for my Golden Age collection. But I'm satisfied with what my level of EC in my collection investment is, which sit and hang on my wall because they are important Golden Age books. I'm not really investing heavy in EC. EC is always an easy investment. You always will get your money back out of it because there's always a market for it. As each generation discovers it. But I also have a small investment in Spirit. Now, Spirit is a hard one to call because I don't think Spirit will ever take off in value per se, because Spirit is, how do I put it gently? His movie was terrible and he's a forgotten hero. I mean, there's some amazing Dwan Cook work that he did, and all Will Eisner's work was amazing. But I have a little bit of Spirit in there. I might pick up a Spirit newspaper, but I want one specific cover, and it has eluded me because they're expensive. A recent pickup that I did, and it particularly started picking up after he died, was Neil Adams covers. I love Neil Adams covers. I've picked up most of his major covers, or at least repos of his major covers. I picked up one recently, and of the Green Lantern Green Arrow issue, 71 I believe it is, but it's a repo cover, so I'm fine with that, because the original is too expensive right now. I do want to pick up the when Speedy did heroin covers. I had that once in my collection, so it matters to me. Others that I am looking for, I look for keys. I do invest heavily in keys, and so I go on Key Collector and hunt down keys, and my keys are all over the map, mostly DC keys. I need to increase my Marvel keys, and recently I started collecting Amazing Spider-Man from the 90s and 80s. It seems affordable, and there were great stories from that era. I'm reading one right now about the Hobgoblin versus Spider-Man. After Spider-Man went back to after Spider-Man found out the black costume was Venom, then they introduced Hobgoblin. It's great, but then I realized I can read it on Marvel Universe, so I might just read it on Marvel Universe and stop buying those issues. But I'm picking up random Amazing Spider-Man issues, mostly because, I don't know, those are good investment vehicles, and I might pick up some early Amazing Spider-Man too. I diversified my position in Justice League International. It's not worth much, but I have a nice position in that, and that's just because I love it, and there's a series that I want to read, and I want to read the breakdowns. But I decided not to read it, and so I de-invested in that. I have a large position in Weird War, too. I have Walt Simon's first professional work, and that's like a $15 right there. The rest, they're worth about $6, and I think they'll go up to $10 in time, because they're the weirdest war books you can read, and they're great, and they have a lot of fans in other parts of the country. Anyways, that's my thoughts on what I've been collecting. Oh, I picked up some random Iron Man too. I don't know. I mean, I just thought about putting some. I just saw some cool Iron Man covers and picked them up. I want to get Demon in the Bottle. Some keys.